Can you say hard hats, folks? Hard hats, lunch pails, steel toe boots.
Anything short of a championship this year is a failure.
Look at this boomer right here.
You've just got so much talent here.
Somebody said we need to apologize for Jalen.
Can I close it, John? What are we apologizing for? What did we say? What did we do?
You can't be serious.
Wait.
No.
I had to grab the hard hat, dude.
You think that this was a hard hat game?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
They won
Really?
the game. They get the hard hat. Last game that I was on, so game 2, I chucked the hard hat all across his room. I couldn't find it. That's why it took me a minute to get it back on. Hard hats, steel toe boots, lunch pails. You know who brought their hard hat tonight, John? Derek White.
One guy?
He brought the
One person
Derek
only?
White brought the 6.5-inch chains to the construction site today, and he went to work. That's what he did, and that's all it takes sometimes, John. One guy sets the tone. Yeah, it wasn't a complete effort, but the Celtics went up by double digits. They maintained
Tatum and
the
Brown
lead.
brought, yeah.
You know what? Sometimes you got to pick up the slack for the guys that maybe Monday morning, a little hangover for some of these guys. Monday hangover, but Derek White came.
No, they brought their thermoses with like hot chocolate and marshmallows and their PB&J. It was, and just, anyway, it's fine. Fine. Call it a hard hat game. Look, you want to win when you don't.
F you. It's a hard hat game.
It's good to win when you play bad, and they didn't play well tonight at all. Miami was brutal. Celtics win it. Lots of stories here that we're going to follow, including Kristaps Porzingis. See if we get some injury updates. Jimmy Toscano here alongside John Zannis with Bobby Manning and what's his name? Josue Pavon.
Josue.
Here on a playoff edition of the Garden Report, brought to you as always by Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. And we would like to welcome a new sponsor here to the Garden and to the Garden Report and to CLNS Media. Very excited to bring aboard Game Time.
I'm
the
fired
best
up
mobile
for this one.
Yeah, the Game Time, the best mobile ticket marketplace app out there. We'll tell you how you can get in on some really good deals. If you want to go see the Celtics maybe close out the Heat in a couple days, the Bruins close out the Leafs. Game Time, special offer here when you use the code CLNS. We'll tell you more about that later. But first off, I guess we start with the worrying thing, and that's the Kristaps Porzingis thing. And Porzingis, we know what happened. He left the game with right calf tightness. Imaging Tuesday, Woj reported, and it looks like the on-site tests they do, those are pretty reliable from what they say. The on-site test with the Achilles thing, they can rule that out or pretty much determine it quick, which is why they almost always know. I never thought it was that. Just the way I was looking at the injury, Jimmy, it looked like he felt it. He felt a tweak multiple times and tried to play through it until finally he was like, nope, too much. It grabbed and he had to come off. I think he tried to fight through it like it was something minor or a cramp or something. But that's why I never thought it was Achilles, because Achilles, you go down like you got shot, and you don't get up at all. And this was He played several possessions after he felt it. So I really thought he tweaked something there. He's done this already this year. The thing is, though, Jimmy, it's what? Best case scenario, couple of weeks. Couple of weeks is a lot in the playoffs. I mean, 7 days, 8 days.
That's where you're going with? So I don't.
No, I don't know. Worst case scenario, worst. Like, I don't think you can possibly. I don't know what grade strain and blah blah blah. There's no reason to play doctor here, but you have to imagine missing a handful of games is well within the likelihood here based off of a recent one. And you don't know. I mean, maybe a little better, maybe a little worse, but it seems like you definitely want to wrap this up quick and have a little bit of time to yourself and create as much space as possible. So I don't know. What's your take? And where are you on the panic meter? Where is everybody else here on the panic meter with the Kristaps Porzingis injury? I'm curious where the fans are.
I'm like orange, right? I'm like this darker orange. I'm not where you're headed. I'm not like burnt sienna, but I'm like I'm orange right there, the second to last one. So, and again, that's just because we know the history with Porzingis and being in and out of games with various injuries. And yeah, I was nervous when he left the game because anytime I see like a non-contact lower body leg thing, John, I'm gonna assume the worst. I'm gonna be like you and just assume the worst. Typically, I guess this time you didn't, but I don't know if right off the bat did he tweak something in his knee and something just happened? Was it the Achilles? Was it the calf? Is it a serious calf strain? We didn't know any of that stuff. I know that they've come out on Twitter saying that they think he's avoided, anything serious, but I have no idea if this means 1 game, 1 week, 1 month. So yeah, until I get that information, I'm defaulting to panic mode, which is probably not something that your therapist would tell you to do, but that's what I'm going to do in this situation. And it sucks. We obviously know how important Porzingis is to this team. We know what it's like when he's not playing well or not playing. We saw that in game 2. So you got to hope for the best and hope that the Celtics can wrap up this series. This series is, let's, for all intents and purposes, this series over. I'm knocking on wood here, but I don't think that Porzingis, I think the Celtics can get by without Porzingis this series. But to your point, John, it's only going to get more and more difficult here, and you need all hands on deck if you're the Celtics team because they're up, in the series, but they haven't played their best basketball from start to finish. We can all agree on that. But so that's now with them. I'm not going to play doc. I'm going to let the doc handle that, but I'm not going to play doc.
The rational take is to be extremely panicked. I'm sorry everyone's saying he's going to be okay. Whatever helps you sleep at night. The rational take is to be very worried until you're told not to, because like we said, there's really not much of a window here. Anything that keeps him out extended time could end a season. And I know everyone's like, you'll be fine in the next round. And I honestly think you might be fine in the next round. But you start playing with fire if you get anywhere past that. So yes, the hope is, a week to 10 days, something like that, great. Once you hear that, you'll feel a lot better about it. A multi-week injury here in the middle of the playoffs sucks because, we've said it all year long. There's one X factor and one differentiator here in this team, and it's Porzingis. And being without him is bad. Objectively bad.
They've avoided all major injuries all year. Like this would be completely different than anything they've had to really experience this year. So it's going to be difficult to adjust like that and to, be able to overcome something like that. So again, I don't want to look too far in the future. I don't want to try to, I'm panicking in the moment, but I'm not trying to say, oh, he's done or they're doomed, all this stuff. But I don't want to harp on it too long either.
We can't go. You can't.
Because I don't know what to say.
Other than wait and hope.
Yeah.
So
that's it. I would be surprised to see him out there game 5. That's for sure. I think you can arrest him. Even if he wants to try to play on it, you got to do what's best for the team, what's best for him, what's the smart thing to do. They're up 3-1 in this series now. They can close things out at home. The Heat look like they're ready to punch that plane ticket. Cabo is looming, I think, for a lot of these guys. So
it's fine.
I'm expecting this one to end in 5 games.
I do think we have to remember here, why are the Bucks about to get eliminated? Because Giannis suffered a calf strain.
Their injuries.
Giannis suffered a calf strain. He's still not playing. It happened against the Celtics with a few games to go in the regular season. He's missed the entire first round. You can miss a round here. And again, Twitter doctors out here saying what they're saying, which is mild strain is 2 to 3 weeks. Moderate is 4 to 6. So it depends which range you're in. Can you live 2 to 3? Yeah, that's a series, and possibly the beginning of a next one. But you are threatening into the conference finals and potentially all the way through, into finals without it. So yes, it's not the best case scenario is probably next series, which is not great, right?
No.
Look,
not great, Bob.
If it's any of those strains, is it possible it was I don't know. Again, maybe there's something teeny minor that's not there, but all of the Twitter doctors going to work are saying any sort of legitimate strain, you're probably looking at a couple of weeks. So win it in 5, move on. Hopefully it's only next series, and that's that. There's not much else you can say. They said tightness because that's what they do. Okay? They say tightness because they don't know.
Right.
Because they
Right.
haven't diagnosed it.
They're not
Don't
gonna
read
say
anything
anything
into
else.
tightness. Yeah, don't read anything into tightness. KP is fine. Oh, no, forget it. He's fine. My bad.
Everything's good.
He's fine. He's fine. But I think they can win another series. I think they can honestly I think they can still get to the finals. You know, like I really do. It's not over, but it's just the timing, Jimmy, as you said all year long. It's really hot. It's really hard to like think about anything else until you get the news, right? You want the news to be the best news, and then be like, okay, you know, we can make it. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
it's the black mark on this game, right? Or whatever the saying is. I mean, you're obviously glad the Celtics won this one, but this is looming over your head now. This is a steep price to pay. Let's put it that way. So he's in a walking boot. Okay, is that good too? It's probably just something. It's probably for comfort, right?
Guys, forget it. Pete's got it.
Walking boots.
I love Pete, by the way. It's just a massage is all you need. We'll be fine. We're fine.
Sometimes people just wear walking boots because, like, a little, you know, it takes.
Everyone wears. It's kind of cool, actually. You wear a walking boot so you don't aggravate anything further. It also doesn't mean anything. Again, leave it alone. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Crunches are kind of fun too.
Yeah, they can be fun. We'll have to wait and see. Other than that, what do you got to talk about? You got a Derek White saves the day in what was kind of an ass game for the Celtics. You know, it really was, but it was probably like 10 times worse for the Heat. The Heat were just atrociously bad offensively in this game. I mean, my goodness, they couldn't hit anything at all. This is such an offensively challenged team tonight. Brutal. So again, kind of an easy win, even though the Celtics didn't play great.
And that's why I don't get too. I'm going to sound like a down here. I still can't trust this team because the Heat are that bad. You know, it's like a lose-lose for the Celtics. It's a lose-lose situation for the Celtics because when they lose to the Heat, you're like, wow, these guys suck. They're not as good as we thought they are. But when they beat the Heat, you're like, well, the Heat aren't really like they're no match for the Celtics. Of course, the Celtics are going to beat them. Well, let's wait and see how they play against a real team, right? So it's hard for me to gauge still where this team's at because I said this before the playoffs started, John. I said the Celtics can do bad things, but the Heat aren't good enough to really make them pay for it. So tonight's a really good example where, like you said, they didn't bring their A game a lot. Some of these guys just did not have it going from start to finish. I'm talking about everybody but Derek White, of course. But the Heat don't have enough offense to make them pay for it. I mean, did the Heat have like 50 points midway through the third quarter? And even with the Celtics playing as poorly as they were. So, again, I hope that we can just wrap things up here in 5 games and get on to whether it's you know, Magic or Cleveland, a team with a little bit more backbone to them, I think.
Yeah. The other side talk is yes, and again, the Stan Van Gundy went full freaking heel, like in this game, right? Like
I didn't get a chance, so I was watching. I'm watching CSN actually right now. What did he say?
Van Gundy was killing the Celtics all night, and I'm not gonna lie, I think rightfully so, even though it was excessive. I thought they were playing terribly all game. And if not for Derek White, this is a different story altogether. I thought Tatum and Brown, brutal all night. And I thought they were giving the Heat looks. They just didn't hit any. So he was killing them for their effort. It was a passive effort. This was a disengaged, disinterested game from the team's stars. But Derek White was dude, you could see it from the early possessions. I was charting it even defensively. Just the way they weren't aggressive trying to get through screens. They weren't closing out. They were walking around. They were just leaving guys open. Like Tatum and Brown walked through this game. I'm so perplexed by it. But again, White caught friggin' fire, and that was great. I thought offensively they weren't running anything. Go ahead.
I want to say one thing about Tatum. I want to say a good thing about Tatum. That was like borderline dunk of the year that he had on Caleb Martin. That was poetry in motion. So I got to
great.
give him that. We can criticize him for how he came out and maybe the effort overall, but I jumped out. Deuce Tatum has a new brother tonight, and his name is Caleb Martin because Jason Tatum sunned him.
He sunned him, huh?
Absolutely sunned him to the middle of the earth with that
Jimmy,
dunk.
it's 3-1. How many wins do we need?
Like to win the whole thing? With 13? There you go.
There it is.
Dude, I'm in the middle of a thought. I'm not doing math right now.
I wanted to get the super chat up. I figured I wanted to stump you in mid thought.
I gotta again tip of the helmet, tip of the hard hat to Tatum for that dunk, because I was hoping that there would be some sort of payback to Caleb Martin for his dirty, cheap shot on Tatum in game 1, and we got it right now. We got it in the best way possible. We got it with a legit, embarrassing posterized dunk. Caleb Martin got a taste tonight. I'll say that.
He did.
That's all I'm gonna
But
say.
outside of that, again, you need these guys to be serious. I mean, maybe a few games without Porzingis will let him do it. But
Right.
it was
Now they have no choice, John. Now
it was
here
no,
it comes.
forget it. I'm wrong. Tatum had 20, 10, and 5. It was a good game. It was. But anyway, so Van Gundy, the reason everyone lost it is he was critical of them all game long. And then at the end, when what happened is, and I'll ask you this. So he at the end of the game, and everybody saw it, and everybody's full. I mean, Van Gundy's catching a ton of heat. Tatum rolls his ankle, with the Bam Adebayo flagrant. Bam gets in his airspace. Tatum's shooting after the whistle. Van Gundy's like, what's Bam going to do? Not challenge it? I mean, Tatum's trying to get a free shot off there. He's like, that's on him. Bam's got to do that. Bam has to. And he just basically just over and over again. And everyone's like, okay, whatever, Stan. And then on it went. He's like, he's like, that's on Tatum. And on and on and on he went. And he's like, he's like, who cares? It doesn't matter if he got hurt. He shouldn't be shooting that. So I don't know.
Let me say this.
Well, I mean, basically, like he lost his mind, and no one would validate him. No one on the broadcast would validate him. And after just a little bit of like discussion about something else, he just come back. He's like, "That's on Tatum," And it was just like he just for 5 minutes he lost. He's like, what's Bam gonna do? Not try to break his legs?
Right. So I was earlier in the game. I did have the TNT brackets on. It felt like Stan was very pro Miami. First of all, that's number one.
He was for sure.
The main point I want to say though is I think Stan hates Jason Tatum. I'm going to say that right now. You can clip it. You can blast it.
He absolutely does.
Stan Van Gundy hates Jason Tatum.
He kills him.
It's not just tonight. It's not just tonight. It's anytime he gets a chance, Stan Van Gundy will criticize Jason Tatum. I don't know why. I don't know if Tatum just blew him off one day, but Stan Van Gundy will criticize Tatum for his attitude out there. Will criticize him like the way he, complains about calls or missed calls. Obviously, he's complaining about him tonight because he took the shot after the whistle. So Stan Van Gundy hates Jason Tatum. Why? I don't know. Somebody should ask him, maybe on the next broadcast. But completely biased broadcasting by Stan Van Gundy because clearly he can't stand Jason Tatum. I'm not sure why, but he can't. Third thing I want to say is, John, Stan has a little bit of a point because what does Joe Mazzulla talk about all the time? No free shots after the whistle. If it was on the other side, nobody would have a problem with one of the Celtics players or coaches trying to block Bam's shot if it was after the whistle. So I kind of see what Stan's saying, but I wouldn't have gone on and on and on about it for 10 minutes if that's what he did.
Yeah,
and he does hit Jason Tatum.
I'll give 10% of blame to Tatum in the sense of like, yeah, you didn't have to shoot it. And, let's say he doesn't land in his airspace. He makes contact with him or whatever. You've invited that to a degree, but also people shoot after the whistle all the friggin' time. You don't have to block it. Like, it's not like maybe in crazy Joe Mazzulla land, you have to contest every one of these, but also you can not. Like, it's not.
Right. It's not a big deal.
It's not
the thing is,
a thing you have to do.
it's one thing to block it at the basket, like when the ball's on its way down, but to try to block that, like the actual shot from occurring, that's like KG used to just stick his hand up at the rim and block the ball from going in. He didn't want to see the ball go in. He wasn't really going out there continuing to play defense after the whistle or vice versa. So I can see the difference there. But
yeah, he does hate Tatum. He says that thing you mentioned it, Jimmy, about the complaining all the time.
he says, "Oh, he can't wait to say that."
He can't. He gets in on him all the time. You're right.
He hates Jason Tatum, and
Yeah.
so
Is it?
he'll take every opportunity to I wonder why. His brother is a little. What's his brother's involved in the Celtics?
Some ambassador of.
I wonder if his brother is feeding him information.
Coachification, like it's some sort of senior advisor.
I wonder if Jeff is feeding Stan some anti-Tatum info. Why is Stan Van Gundy so damn passionate about his hatred towards Jason Tatum? I can't figure this one out. Tatum's a pretty soft-spoken guy. Doesn't get in trouble. Is not in the news for any reason.
Yeah. Also, it's at some
Let's get
point.
Stan on the show. Let's get Stan on the show and ask him.
Stan aside, dirty or not dirty by Bam? I know some people are insisting it was. I think it was a little dirty.
Aren't they like aren't they close friends? I don't think he intended to do anything dirty there at all. I mean, I think his natural reaction was to try to, just get a hand up and prevent him from taking the shot. These guys are competitive. They're going out a million miles a minute there. And in the heat of the moment, he just tried to contest the shot. Yeah, he was too close and he landed in his space and it was stupid. It was stupid all around. But I mean, I don't dirty. When I say something's dirty, it has to be like egregious or like intentional. Like Caleb Martin to me was more dirty, even though maybe Tatum had a higher chance of getting injured by what Bam did. I just don't see Bam as somebody, or in this case, doing that on purpose. He's not trying to sprain Tatum's ankle or something like that. So I'm not gonna say it was dirty, but I can understand why people would be upset that it happened. Definitely.
You thought Caleb Martin was dirty. You didn't think this was dirty.
I thought Caleb Martin was intentional.
I thought it was. I thought this exactly sums it up. I thought both were intentionally reckless. That you can plead ignorance about. I didn't want him to get hurt and still do something that raises the percentages of someone getting hurt significantly. It's not like you took a hammer and smashed him in the knee with it, which guarantees injury. But you did something where you can be like, shoulder shrug. Ooh. Oops, did you get hurt there? That wasn't my intention. You can plausibly deny that was what you wanted to have happen, but it was intentionally reckless, I think, isn't exactly the right way to put it.
I like the word reckless, but intentionally reckless. I don't know if I'd go
intentionally reckless, Jimmy.
I don't know if I can go that far. I don't know if I can agree with intentionally reckless, but maybe I'm just a naive little bitch and I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I just want to see the good in everybody, John. I know that's hard to believe.
Neesmith is unintentionally reckless.
Yeah. Neesmith's a danger to himself. There's a big difference.
Right. Neesmith, like 3 people get hurt every time Neesmith goes to Starbucks. Like it doesn't like it just
there's just a path of just destruction.
Turn it around, accidentally pours coffee in someone's face. Like
like Starbucks has to close for the day. Like it's a mess. Yeah,
that's completely unintentional. Yeah, he's just a wrecking ball. This was a little bit of something, little something on it. But
I know that Bam and Tatum are close. You don't intentionally hurt a friend.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Neesmith's with that insurance commercial, like with the what's his name?
Yeah, you're right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Anyway, as we said, we're gonna get some reaction. We have Bobby and Josue down at the Garden. It looks like I might have Joe already. And I'm going to I'm gonna get a little bit of that out there in a set. No. Sorry, I was communicating with our super producer Ahmed, who is alive after we almost killed him during the draft. Josue's
Josue tweeted a couple pictures of.
I know we're gonna get
Porzingis
those up on the screen too. Get a
in the
little
boot
Porzingis
there.
update.
That
As
looks
well
like
as
a normal. That just looks like a
it
normal
does.
shoe. You know,
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Here's what we got with it. Sorry. This is
nothing wrong there.
that's what we're looking at here. Send us anything you want, by the way. Tweet to Celtics CLNS or any one of our personal handles here if we see it. Anything fun, observations, memes, GIFs, whatever you have. Send them out here. This is actual reporting from our guy Josue Pavon out there in Miami. Porzingis with a boot. Josue on the scene. He's got the pics.
Couple of comments under the tweet from like delusional Celtics fans. Here's one. It's just a precaution. And then dude put his suit back on. We're good. So the fact that he was able to dress himself, he didn't walk out naked. Everybody, he didn't walk out, in his jersey. I guess.
Yes, it would be concerning if he left in only a boot.
Yeah.
Like that's all he had on.
He's not even in a stretcher.
Here's a naked Kristaps Porzingis walking out with a boot and a single mitten. Yeah.
It's cool. He put his suit on.
Anyway, so yeah,
we should do a segment, delusional Celtics fans. That would be a really fun segment.
He's fine. He's wearing his suit, Jimmy.
Yeah.
What do you want? The guy got
his
dressed.
Third suit.
He got dressed, Jimmy. He's fine. Anyway, we're gonna take a quick pause. Like I said, we're gonna hear from Joe Mazzulla, a couple of the Celtics. Pardon me, as the sound starts filing in. But we want to tell you about our new sponsor, which we're very excited about. Guy like me, Jimmy, Bobby, Josue, hey, we're lucky. Sometimes we get to use our press credentials to see games, which is pretty cool. But I know how hard getting a ticket can be. Say you want to go see Fish at the Sphere or something. That's a tough ticket. Enter Game Time, an authorized ticket marketplace of the NBA, makes getting playoff tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to tip off. Killer last minute deals, all in prices, plus views from your seat. Tons of cool stuff. As we said, it's actually pretty neat. You go on there, Jimmy, and you want to see where you're at, and you're like, what's it gonna look like here? That's particularly good for concerts, honestly. What's the angle on the stage? What's that going to be? Is there any obstruction? And you get a great panoramic view on any seat that you're thinking of purchasing. Flash deals late, lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So you find something else elsewhere that's lower than what Game Time offers, and you can get credited back. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. It's that easy. So again, anything you want to see coming up, Celtics closeout game, you got the Bruins coming up. Why not? Against Toronto. That's pretty cool. There's a bunch of
tomorrow night
acts and yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming to town. Check it out. Go to Game Time. Terms do apply, but once again,
you say guaranteed.
Guaranteed price match. Yeah. Use the code CLNS 20 off your first purchase, as we said, when you download the Game Time app. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS for 20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
So you get $20 off your first purchase. That means you can go to the Red Sox game for free. You actually might get $10 back. Yeah. You might get $10 back.
Let's see. I got a couple of sound bites here. What's the better one?
Dealer's choice.
Joe? Okay, here's Joe on what happened. So Joe didn't give a lot on the Porzingis answer, but he was asked later on what changes if he is out. And again, he's probably going to be out for at least next game, but we'll see. Here's what Joe had to say.
No, nothing changes. Bringing the same mindset
and the soundbite,
intentionality, toughness, details to the next game, regardless of who's available. It doesn't matter. There's no difference between the regular season and the playoffs. And all year we've had guys step in and play. So most important thing is execute the game plan and bring the mindset and the toughness it takes.
Okay, next.
And that's
clip.
it. Here was another. Well, here was something we put up here from let me see.
Acute right lower leg injury. Here we go.
These are
Here's
some
all
of the
the
other
here's all
things.
the words.
Yeah, but
You read
basically what
this.
it comes down to is I think the soleus strain is the number 2, but what it comes down to is the grade 1, grade 2. Really, it's 2 to 3 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, and the rare likelihood of a grade 3 or a tear is would be season ending or something. But that's
John,
unlikely. Yeah,
you don't need to go that far in your.
I didn't go that far.
You basically did. You don't need to tell us about grade 3 stuff. We're trying to keep it positive vibes only in here.
But the realistic scenarios between grade 1 and 2 are 2 to 3 or 4 to 6, and that's kind of where you want to see where you're in that range, and that's what everybody's holding their breath for.
What
right
if
here.
it's not even a grade 1? Maybe it's just a little, little strain. You did get dressed. Yeah, just to stretch it out.
He did dress.
Let me ask you a really troubling question, John. This is actually where the positivity might go south a little bit here.
Uh-oh.
Let's say Porzingis is out, even if it's just for a game. We saw who came in for Porzingis.
We know what we saw.
We know what we saw. Bobby tweeted it. He texted it. We know what we saw.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Mr. Third Center made his appearance tonight.
3 minutes.
Can we expect a lot more than that?
Yes, no question about it. Yes, of course. You're going to start Al and you're going to play him 30 minutes a game. Who else is coming in?
Yeah, you can't just you can't go small against
It's so again, I'm not clamoring for. I don't care who plays. Like I don't think it's like it should be Tillman. Some people believe it should be Tillman. I don't think it's necessary.
Hey, good news. His fingers work.
Oh, KP tweeted. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Yeah, John probably would wish that actually. Got to be clean though. Got to be clean. So he can tweet. He can get dressed. So far, it's only good news.
Yeah, Jake said it. First to the floor.
Dr. Evan Jeffries. Is that who you had up earlier? Game injury doc?
No, different.
Oh, he said, this looks like a right quote-unquote calf strain for Porzingis. You can also see he has tape on the left calf, so probably was dealing with some sort of tightness, soreness prior on that side. MRI will determine severity and healing time. But yeah, grade 1 is 1 to 2 weeks. Anything over grade 1.
1 to 2 is better than 2 to 3. Let's go. Grade 1.
Yeah, I'm
guys, he's wearing clothes. He's tweeting. He's obviously fine. So let's go with grade 1.
Let's see what he said. He just said, "I'll be fine." That's it.
We'll put it on the screen in a minute. Oh, okay. I got it right here. Ready?
I won't blow it then.
How about right here?
We'll be good.
Good W tonight. D White is special. Thanks for all the support. We'll be good. What will be good?
Yeah, what will be good? It looks like there's an extra space there. It looks like he's missing a word. Like, what was that word?
They will be. Does this mean they'll be good without me, or he'll be good? There's a muscle there, which means maybe he feels strong.
It's the upper body. It's not a leg though. It'd be better if it was like a leg, like a knee emoji, a leg emoji. You know, something that would make us feel better.
Joe Missoula, do you have calves? What do you think about Porzingis hurting his calf? Do you have calves? I do, Joe.
Nothing's going to change, according to Coach Joe, except Luke Cornett's going to play 25 minutes.
Yeah. Nothing.
God.
What's going to change? Nothing. I'm still starting Porzingis or I'm playing with 4. I don't care. My rotations stay the same. Nothing changes.
Oh, man. So grade 1 is 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. We want like lower than a grade 1. I'm going to go with a hot take there. We want it to be better than that. Anything worse than 1 to 2 weeks, now it's scary. 2 weeks is already scary. You're halfway through the next series.
Did it burst, though? Was it a clean burst?
Everybody. D White is special. We did start the show with that. I did with my hard hat
Yeah.
tribute.
I'm gonna have to tell Bobby to have that ticket ready.
A lot of people are
What do you
saying
think?
Tillman, John. A lot of people are saying Tillman. It's going to be a Tillman sighting.
I don't know. I think they're afraid of Tillman.
That's why they traded for Tillman, though, right? In case something happened and they might need to go to a deeper bench here. That was the whole thing. They didn't think Cater was it.
Do you have Cavs could make next year's bracket?
On the
That's a
bracket.
pretty good one.
Put it on there.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Damn.
Anyway, as we said, we await Professor Sherrod teaching tonight.
He's not coming?
I don't think so. I think he'd be here by now. His students are more important. Students are more important.
Kids
Jim.
are the future.
They are. But so we're here. So Porzingis tweeting, and that's all fine and good. And the Celtics are up 3-1, kind of like they should be. Chance to close it out. Crazy how bad Miami is at home, huh? At home with the home court advantage. I loved how the game began.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're all wearing white. I was like, yeah, the seat's full. And I was like, no, those are mostly just still the white shirts just sitting on the empty seats.
No, it's just everybody's doing anything else.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got those two things. And then we've also got, as we said, kind of a.
Is Bobby in all white tonight? I feel like Bobby probably rolled in like Miami.
It is
Vice.
worth talking about the Amit, where's my Derek White lower third?
Oh, it's here. It's right. Okay, it's not there. It's gone. Damn it, Amit. It's okay. He didn't have like a season high or anything like that in the first half or anything crazy.
Yeah. Where are my pants?
Amit's not even in Miami.
Huh?
Amit's not even in Miami, is he?
There he is. Derek White. I mean, look, we went into the fun stuff and the drama, the Porzingis, and then the
wow.
And then the other stuff.
Stat line. Can we just appreciate
this was an out of body experience. And like what's interesting to me about this game isn't just that he played this well, which was amazing, and he was just, I mean, knocking down everything. It's that somewhere he decided, looking around at what was going on with everybody else, that like it might have to be me, and he just did it. Like for
Jat's
Derek White
pissed.
to take 26 shots. What are they pissed about?
Where's the 3 blocks in that stat line? They want him to get his respect. You want his respect for the 3 blocks he had.
That is tough.
Is fair.
You know what it is?
Fair.
My producers are conditioned to me wanting to see turnovers and plus minus so I can shit on people. But yes, 3 blocks should be on here. I agree.
That actually is really true.
I'm like, put the turnovers on there. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Furiously typing up this. I need 6 turnovers to talk about Jalen. Yes. 3 blocks. Ridiculous game. Like, ridiculous game. But like, why do you think that's what he did? Like, that he looked around, he's like, these guys suck right now. It's like, I got to take it into my own hands.
I hope that's what he did. I mean, I think I saw on Twitter just quickly that I think Missoula just gave him the green light tonight. And so he just took it and ran with it. And like you said, John, if the guys Tatum and Brown and the superstars want to sleepwalk through some stuff and want to not get up for the certain games that aren't maybe as big to them as other games would be. I don't know how you could say that about a playoff game, but Derek White from the jump was just in a zone tonight. John, is Jimmy a good boss to work for? I think I have to say yes to that. What happens if I say no? Am I on the next show?
It's all right.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's a decent boss. I'll give him that. Amit's the real boss.
Amit's the MVP. I preside over everything like I did something. I didn't do anything. Amit did everything. I'm like, good. Everybody. We did great today. It means Amit did great today.
Yeah. John's eye. He lets me wear hard hats and stuff and say stupid things.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, Derek, I don't know, John. I mean, I think Derek White.
No,
He's
he
a
was hot.
good-
You're right. He was hot early, and he just
has-
kept it
yeah.
going. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Good for him, because the thing about Derek White, I think, maybe more so previously, is that he wasn't. I don't think he used to be as aggressive as he needed to be to get himself going, and that doesn't mean that he couldn't. It just meant that he would, I think, defer a little bit more. But tonight, the shots were falling from the start, and if good on Missoula, if that's the case, good on Missoula for just lifting him up and saying, "Hey, keep doing it, keep shooting. You're the guy tonight. Don't think twice about it. The shot misses, go down and shoot it again." So I just loved what I saw. I'm surprised Sherrod couldn't call in on this one, because he's the biggest Derek White fan on the show, and he's been saying
I
that
love this.
the
Love for the
Celtics need
sponsor. Yeah.
Celtics need to go to Derek White more, not just early, but specifically Sherrod talks about late in games. So this was why this is the one thing you can take out of this game, or a great thing you can take out of this game, is this Derek White sort of takeover game, because you don't get a lot of them like that. I mean, Derek White's one of those players that he's always positively affecting the game, almost always, and he's going to give you 20 points, and you're not going to bat an eye about it. But for him to get to that over that 30-point mark, and to really like the volume of shooting that he had tonight, and honestly the percentages are unbelievable. So for him to almost hit that 40-point marker is definitely worthy of a tip of the hard hat tonight, and that's why he gets my hard hat of the night, hard hat award. He gets the hard hat tonight. I'm gonna have to start giving away the hard hat, like the brownie award.
He gets the brownie.
He gets the ceremonial hard hat.
I might rename the brownie after this.
38 knocks on the hard hat for 38 points. Here we go. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
Are you one? Are you two?
riveting television. I just like slowly I end up with concussion symptoms in the end. No, this is legit hard hat. So.
But yeah, I mean, again, you take it for granted because it's in his bag, but you always wonder, right? Like you see, for example, Pritchard starting late in the year and being able to put up numbers. Then you see like Banton go over to Portland and put up numbers, and you wonder, like, let's eliminate. Not that it would be fun. This team's a championship contender for these people, but let's pretend this team had Holiday, White, and Tatum, and no Brown and no Porzingis. Does White average like 24 a game? Like or if the attention's on him, it'll be harder, and he can't, doing this type of thing. He benefits from all of the attention the other guys get, and when he gets hot, he can kind of get away with this. But or is he just that guy? It's really interesting to think dude, because this is a guy you're gonna have to figure out. People are gonna determine his value. Is he like a number 2 scoring option on a team? Is right. I mean,
this was a big money game for him.
Big money game for D White. Big money game.
Yeah, and I think us Celtics fans and reporters and local Bostonians who follow the Celtics aren't stunned to see it, because they've understood how much better this guy has gotten since he's joined the Celtics. But if you're a casual, if you're just an NBA fan, looking to watch a playoff game, Derek White is not a household name to you. He's been in and out of like the highlights and such this season, but he's one guy on this team. He's not Tatum. He's not Brown. He's not even Porzingis. And everybody knows Drew Holiday. He's the, kind of, again, on a national scale, he's the forgotten guy in this lineup. So for him to come out in the way he did on national TV and, again, kind of put the team on his back a little bit, that's huge for him. Yeah, he's going to a couple more games like this on the big stage. He'll be cashing in at some point. And that's why, me and Bobby have talked about it a few times. Bobby thinks, maybe he'll take a hometown discount. No, dude, this is this is going to be his next contract, is like his big contract.
The contract.
That's the one. Yeah. And that's going to be the only one. And he's not saying he's not going to ever get a new contract.
He's going to be looking at Holiday and he's going to look at Holiday and be like,
yeah, younger, right? I mean,
younger, further down the road, more cap space. Like, oh goodness gracious!
Also, he doesn't. That was Holiday's second contract like that. Derek White hasn't had one like that. You think he's going to take a hometown discount for what? Hell no, he's not going to do that. So
hell no. Anyway, we're going to hear more from some Celtics. We're going to get Josue jumping on here on the stage. And yeah, it's we're getting close, right? We're getting close to Cancun time here for the Heat, who looked like outside of
That's
outside of
actually awesome. Did we make that?
outside of their fouls.
That's awesome.
We made it.
Yeah, we made that. That's awesome. Cancun.
We made it. Yeah, heading to Cancun right now. As I said, we're going to hear a little bit more from some of the Celtics coming up shortly. We do want to tell you again about another one of our terrific sponsors here at the Garden Report and CLNS Media, and that's Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. And you love it. I love it. Do I have my B-roll? I have my Prize Picks B-roll.
We'll B-roll it. We'll do it ourselves. Ready?
I love it. There it is. #1 fantasy sports app. Easiest, most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. Pick more or less, 2 or more player stats. Watch the winnings roll in. You can win honestly up to 100 times your money with Prize Picks with as little as
Who's this guy?
4 correct picks. Turn 10 into 1,000. Basketball, hockey, whatever you want here on Prize Picks. Play alongside celebrities, Meek Mill, Sean O'Malley, whatever you want here. Who you got? Community plays? Forget about it. Get together with your buddies, do it all up that way. Check it out on the promos tab. Offers insurance so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players get injured. And I'll tell you, one of those was Porzingis, and anybody who went more or less on anything Porzingis related, it's off the board. Porzingis got hurt, and that's what they do for you. Okay, you have the injury guarantee. It's super easy to use. It's very intuitive. It's fun. Playoff, you get your little pictures there. You scan through it. Super easy. So, get in on the action here with Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS. First deposit match up to 100. Once again, code CLNS. First deposit match up to 100.
Keep that up first. Can you go back to that for a second, John? Go back to that promo for 1 second. I need to show you something on that promo.
No, I can't.
Come on. Yes, you can. I know you
can't. No, I can't.
I know you can. I'll do it then.
Download the app today. Use code CLNS for a first.
Okay.
We don't need to see it. Jimmy.
The read's over. I didn't interrupt the read, though.
Jimmy.
I have to show
also want to tell you about another sponsor, PXG Golfers. It's on PXG on a mission to create the most high-quality performance golf clubs in the game, and also excellent line of apparel. I'm wearing one right now. I got to say, I love it. They nailed it. It's my second shirt. One they sent me, the other I purchased myself. So there, take that.
Congrats.
I did. I used the code and I got another one because I love these things.
One girl said you looked good in the shirt and you bought 10 others just like it.
I did. All the same color. Designed for peak performance, confidence, inspiring looks. Invite all day play, taking you seamlessly from the course to the office to a night out on the town. PXG apparel, something for everyone. Pants, polos, sweaters, hats, quarter zips, joggers, jackets, skirts, everything you can want. And as I said, I've got 2 of these right now and a stylish cap. I haven't been golfing yet this year, but I just wear them around because it's awesome. It's comfortable. It's great when the weather starts getting hot because it's breathable and it's airy, and I love that. So elevate your style game on and off the course with PXG Spring and Summer Collection. And Jimmy, do you have yours yet or no? You don't have your stuff?
I don't want to get in trouble with my answer.
Huh?
No, I don't have mine yet. Okay.
Look at how awesome these people look. Again,
I thought Amit had mine. Then I saw him. He's like, "No, I don't have yours." So it's like, what the
no.
heck?
As we said, elevate your style and game on and off the course with PXG Summer 24 Collection. Head over to pxg.com/garden report. Once again, it's the whole word, Garden Report, one word. Use the code Garden Report. Check out, save 10% on all apparel. So you could buy a ton, get 10% off on all of it. Again, pxg.com/garden report. Code Garden Report to save 10% on apparel. Once again, pxg.com/garden report. Code Garden Report. Okay.
Yeah. You know what?
Thank you guys for hanging out. But honestly, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, it really is outstanding gear. Go ahead.
PXG
Jimmy.
is great gear. PXG is great gear.
It's great.
The only thing
gear.
better than PXG, John, Garden Report merch. How about that? Don't forget, guys. You can buy Garden Report shirts.
Put it back up. Where'd you get
Oh,
it?
okay. It's right here.
Ta-da.
Get your Garden Report shirts just in time for the playoff run. They're going hot. I had a buddy text me today, asked me for a Garden Report shirt. I said, bro.
Yeah. All
Here's
right,
the
get it off. We're
URL.
going to hear from Al. There it is. Go check it out.
All right,
You know how to get to the pro shop. We're going to hear from Al Horford. He's talking about KP. He seems Al's got that fatherly vibe. He seems a little concerned.
Just concerned. Anytime that any of you guys go back there, especially him, the way that he was walking, Al definitely concerning for me.
Were you able to talk to him at all after the game and see how he was doing?
Yeah, I touched base with him. He's in good spirits, but we don't know what's it gonna be. I'm just hoping that it's nothing serious and that he can get back to us quick.
How did your mindset have to shift in that moment, though, as well?
I think all of us, our mindset has to shift. Specifically, me and myself. I talked to Luke, I talked to Xavier, and just kind of letting them know that we have to, be ready, to step up and do a little more and do what's needed. KP was playing so well defensively, his presence and what he brings to us. So, like I said, I just hope that it's nothing too serious.
Okay.
Somebody under Josue's, I'm just going through the comments again. Somebody goes, his lower body looks cooled. So it's like, I don't know what that means. It's cooled down a little bit.
So this is that was not like, for all of the he got dressed and wore clothes people out there, Al made me more concerned by ×4 off of this. Yes, I agree, Blorp.
Are we sure that did Al say this stuff before he saw Porzingis fully clothed? Because maybe that would have relieved some of
That's what I'm
his
saying. Is I
concern.
wanted to know if Al was told that he did dress himself, and if that would have changed his outlook.
Right. Yeah. Also, are we sure that was even Porzingis? Could have been anybody in that boot.
Yeah, this is seriously. Al's like, it was bad. We were sad.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, oh, Jesus.
All joking aside, he didn't give anybody any reason to spin that into positivity. That was tough. That was a guy that would be burnt sienna on the panic meter right now, John. He'd be in your face right now.
Yikes, that brought down the
I
vibe.
just saw his minutes per game go up about 10. I think is what we just saw there. That was what we saw.
Oh.
I like this. This is a good one. Savior Tillman time. Imagine that. Tillman comes in and just unleashes.
Yeah. Yes, Al is messing with me here. Oh, gross. Yeah. Hey, shooting star. No spam. Enough. I don't want to see that comment again. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You can vary it because you are absolutely right. The Heat is netter. Totally.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Those pretty eyes did look sad, huh?
I'm not give anything away, but
Josue, give us up when you're good to go in there.
We might have an interview coming.
Yeah. You're laughing because you're going to get mad at me when I come to you and you're not ready.
Yeah. No. I'm mad at you because you took 75 minutes and Derek White was just chopping up with me right now. No lie. He literally just walked. You could probably still see him. And Drew Holiday. But anyways, take your time, John. What were you saying? Go ahead. I'm sure it was super important.
Yeah.
Did you tell us you were here? Did you tell us you were here?
Weird because we have these electronic devices we communicate on all game.
Gotcha.
Oh, we don't have anything.
Derek White.
Sorry,
Derek White. Stop talking. Let me tell you guys real quick. Even though
you know what else you have?
Here,
a log on to this app that you can just put yourself on the studio.
But if John saw Bobby Manning on the picture, he'd be like, "Bring Bobby. Bobby, give us what you got." I got you, John.
Josue, we have not.
What's going on, guys?
Enough tools. All you have to do is press a button. Watch this. Ready?
No, this is super important.
Watch this. Ready? There's the button. And you can log on, and there's the button, and you can just put yourself on. It's that easy. It's a login.
Where is he?
Yeah, you just have to remember a password.
Where's Evan? What's up, guys? What's going on? What do you guys want to talk about? You can do
what did Derek White have to say?
Apparently,
we missed a good convo.
Your boy shining over here. What was that? Drew? Which one? Drew, Derek? Which one do you want?
Both.
All right. Well, Derek, obviously being as humble as he is, gave a lot of the credit to Joe Mazzulla, which I thought was really, really interesting. The quote that really stuck out most to me was, ever since Joe took over, he's given me the utmost confidence. I'm not gonna go and be like, oh, he never liked Ime or this, that, and the other. Look, we talked about it on this show for so long, how it was just not. It wasn't it took him a bit to adapt to this system, to this culture, etc. So, but I just thought it was really cool for him to just talk about Joe Mazzulla off the top, saying like, hey man, like he's a big part of why, you know, I put together such as incredible season, career year like this. Of course, to top it off like this, you know, at this point in this series when the Celtics really needed him, seeing Kristaps go down, I mean, he just kept it going, man. 38 points, just dominated. And it wasn't just the 3-point shots, if you ask me. Obviously, you know, the 2 dunks, one on Bam in particular. I mean, the guy's fearless. So I just think it was such a special night for Derek. And you know, obviously, this is an ideal to see Kristaps down the way he did. Tweeted out a picture of him in that walk-in boo earlier. And you know, these Celtics players aren't going to feel sorry for themselves, you know, and then they shouldn't. I mean, look how things have been going across the Eastern Conference. The injury bug obviously bit the Celtics tonight, but I don't see these guys holding it down and saying, like, oh, man, like, how are we going to pull this thing off? They're focused. It's on to the next. And I love their mindset after this win, especially how Miami came out in the second half. You know, they did their best to try to rattle these guys, but Celtics fought. You know, they fought. I thought Al Horford was big in this one, especially in the second half with no Kristaps, and I think that carries over into Game 5. I talked to Tito like right after this. Had a great talk with him, and he was another one that was praising Joe Mazzulla and what he's been doing here, man. I thought that was really, really cool. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just, man, talk about drama. What a drama-filled game for sure. But of course, the Celtics got the win, and that's what matters most.
Yeah, what's the consensus on Porzingis from those guys? Did any of them say anything? Are they concerned? Do they have any extra little input? I saw your picture, Josue. We had your tweet up on the show for a bit.
I figured, but yeah, no, I mean, I just feel like these guys they're really obviously it's a blow, you know, it's a huge loss. But if you look at the way this team is answering questions and carrying themselves, I just feel like they, you know. White gave the big shout out to KP, but I just think they're focused on just trying to finish the series. I mean, you have to. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You know, Miami Heat will have a game plan in place, you know, knowing that Kristaps is most likely not going to be active in Game 5. I don't know if that's official, but if I had to guess, I would say it's probably the best move if you're the Celtics. And yeah, again, I just feel like these guys they didn't harp on it, you know. Maybe if this was a year ago, you would see guys like taking deep breaths, and, you know, just the body language in general. I just think it's been really, really positive, and it showed in the second half, you know, in a big way. I think guys stepped up and know that the any sign of vulnerability, the Miami Heat will pounce, you know, in a playoff game for sure, regardless if they're shorthanded or not, and they knew that. So I think they showed that for sure. The Heat went on their run the best that they could in that fourth quarter, but they just don't have enough, in my opinion, didn't have enough offense to complete a comeback like that. And credit the Celtics for not even letting that happen.
What did Derek White say got in him tonight, Josue? What got into this guy to drop 38? He was I think he had a season high in the first half. Kind of put the team on his back a little bit there. Did he feel like he had no choice tonight, or what was something in the Miami?
Hold on 1 second. Bobby Manning's trying to get on. I got to get him on. Hold on.
Yeah,
hold
man.
Hold
this
on.
is big stuff, Bobby. Let's see what Bobby got. He's got all the big news tonight, man. Bobby.
Hold on. He's not ready yet. Sorry.
Right.
Bobby, as soon as you're ready.
False alarm.
Go ahead, Josue. Go ahead. Yep.
No, I mean, I'm not going viral or anything. It's cool.
He's trying to come on once or twice. Yep. Bobby, the second you're ready, tell me. All right, go ahead, Josue.
There he is.
There's 2 Bobbies.
Yeah,
we should put them both on.
Yeah, we'll only do one.
Yeah, I just think, you know, again, you look at what's going on across the Eastern Conference. I mean, hey, it's going around, if you will, right? So I don't think the Celtics, I really don't think it impacts them in this series. We could talk about the second round later, but the Celtics have to focus on what's in front of them. That's always been the message for Joe Mazzulla all season long, and obviously when things matter most, that's not going to change. But I just love the way these guys responded. Look, we could argue potential matchups and all that stuff, but the fact of the matter is, I still like the Celtics' chances of closing out this series, but obviously get it done as soon as possible, which would be a game 5. Don't come back here in Miami. It's been a great weekend, guys. I'll be honest, but I don't think the Celtics. I don't want to come back. Honestly, I think this team is too talented to prolong this series.
Bobby wants to come back.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You were a little nervous, Bobby. You know, you did think it was 6, right?
Well, I do think John raised a good possibility earlier in our text chain where you're up 3-1, you go home, you think you're just going to close it out. Now, especially if there's no Porzingis and you end up with a game 2 situation. And I don't know if the Heat have that kind of offensive performance in them at this point. It's been dreadful, these 2 games down here, what they've done on offense. And there's guys that could give them a spark like Love and Mills who just don't look like they can survive out there. They tried Love for a second early in this game and went away from him. Robinson, first time he cut around a screen, you knew he was done. And Mills, they went at him with White every time, so you can't play him either. So I don't know how they pull off a Game 5 win. Maybe the Celtics are just that flat offensively. And I do think it'll make a difference in a Game 5 not having Porzingis. I thought the Celtics in the second half had some real droughts without him out there, and they grinded this game out, much like they did Game 3.
A little more pace, though. A little more pace.
Yeah, and I do like Joe talked about how they went to guard screening and spaced out the bigs, and that's something that's effective in speeding this pace up. I actually like Horford being out there to speed things up. He got the ball in quickly throughout this game, got up the floor quick. He had a pretty strong performance, I thought, in this one, plus 15, the second highest on the team off the bench there. So you're going to have to lean on him for 34, 35 minutes, obviously. You're going to sneak in what ended up being 3 minutes of Luke in this one, but it's going to put some pressure on Horford here, without a doubt. And he's ready for it. You know, he's managed his minutes all year, even throughout the series. They haven't relied on him an inordinate amount. But I do think, John, there is the possibility of a letdown in Game 5 if you just walk in.
Heat are, as you said, the Heat are cooked. Like, did Hawkins get hurt too here in this one? Did he go down? We didn't see as much of him late. As you said, Robinson useless. Did we pretend before the game that Kevin Love was going to factor in some significant way? Like, why were we talking about Kevin Love and his game plan? Like, again, I thought the Celtics
his game plan.
I thought the Celtics were awful tonight, minus Derek White. I thought they didn't play with urgency or pace at all. I thought Tatum and Brown were just going through the paces, and they still won easily. I think Miami is cooked.
Yeah, and I have a tough time believing that they're going to show out again. I think 5 might have been the sweet spot in this series for the predictions. You get hot one night, you get extremely historically hot, and that's what it takes to win a game in this series. But they haven't come close since. Now, it's just going to be interesting to see how the Celtics operate offensively in Game 5, because they haven't played great on that end of the floor. It's funny, I thought the Heat bailed them out with so much zone in this game. That just created good look after good look when they went to it, and then the Celtics built that huge lead in the first half off that. So I don't know why they keep going back to that. I think you want to do something more like in the second half where you're having Tatum just attack one-on-one over and over again. And it was interesting that Celtics went up by about 20 there, John. It looked like Tatum just went into like shot practicing mode in the third quarter there to close it and drained out the final 20 seconds of the quarter and launched up another shot. I mean, he was just trying to find himself there, which I guess makes some sense when you're up that big. But then the lead goes down to 13 in the fourth there. So you're right. They couldn't make them pay, but the Celtics did operate with a level of flatness offensively in this game that could have cost them against a real team.
Well, and the other question is, now that Porzingis is likely out at least, this game, if not the series, however long it goes, like, is zone all of a sudden more effective?
I don't think so. Just because of the shooting here, you still have it with Al, and does Al have like a 1-for-7 game? That's what you would need if you're Miami. Like, you just need someone to start missing. And Holiday missed his first 3 threes. Then he hits that huge one in the second half. it's an impossible task for Miami at this point. So many things have to go right. And the Celtics can be their own worst enemy at times with this stuff. But now I almost think there's a heightened awareness with Porzingis out and Al having to step in. And I love when Al's out there. I just think they're the best version of themselves sometimes with him out there in terms of just how much he pushes the pace and how much of a defender he is. And I know Bam's given him some trouble at different points in this series. But I feel pretty good about them in Game 5. I do. And John, I've looked for every possible angle to try to convince people that the Heat are going to be tough here. And I do think for what they have been tough here, but they don't have much. And I think we got robbed of what could have been a really good series here. If you're a basketball fan, you want to see these two sides going at it, and you want to see the Celtics actually overcome something here, right? This is what we want to see in the series. I know you want them to win, and you'll take the breaks along the way. But I wouldn't be surprised to see G League guys running on the court at this point from the Heat. Everybody's hurt on that team. Everybody. Love was on the injury report. DeLon Wright went home to have a kid.
You hated my Patty Mills thing. I'm like, man, they need to just give him some more minutes there. Give him a secondary play there because they don't have one.
And they tried it tonight, Josue. They tried.
Yeah, but they wait till it's like a 25-point lead, though. That's the thing. They wait.
I think the Heat tried everything at this point. I don't know if there's anything left they can do.
Yeah. Well, you know what we can do in moments of doubt. Moments of doubt when all things seem bleak. When Kristaps Porzingis is hurt and Al Horford is sad, you can always turn your attention to Luke Cornett. Yeah. Luke Cornett.
The voice of reason. The voice of the locker room.
Luke Cornett did more work in the locker room with Bobby than he did on the court. 3 minutes of court time and a 4-minute interview. And here's a piece of it talking about what's going on with KP.
You don't want to miss this.
Team when you guys saw Kristaps go off there, especially you
better be good,
in the
Bobby.
backup position there. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough to see, and you kind of knew, obviously, when the second happened, and that he was hurt. Which I think is tough, but I think everyone is just becomes aware and you're just ready to move on and just kind of do whatever it takes to win the game at hand, and you'll worry about that stuff later and let everyone whose job it is to handle that do their thing, and we just had to focus on the game. And I think guys did a good job of that, and obviously he's an important part of what we do, but how we've played throughout the year with been down and just figuring out a way to win is just kind of our identity. So I think it just kind of takes over in a moment like that.
Were you guys both using your R&B voices in that interview? It sounded
it was my somber. It was my somber tone.
Yeah, it was your funeral
up,
talk. But hey, Luke, what's going on, baby? I want to talk to you about something going on with Kristaps Porzingis.
When there's a dire situation. You guys have never used your somber reporting voice?
I love the somber reporting voice.
We have. It's when something but it's not that moment.
My first. Okay, hold on. It's Bobby's credit.
We've all done it. Of course,
my first one-on-one. Yeah, exactly. My first
when you're eliminated.
But it happens when everyone stops their conversation because even if they're far away and they're all you have an audience that it just kicks in. You're just hey, I'm here with Al Horford. You know what I mean? You can't it just happens naturally. So I feel you on that, Bobby, especially when there's a lot of people there.
Playoffs or something?
Yeah.
This is
so who has the better exclusive, me or Josue tonight?
Josue with
I mean,
picks.
mine's not an exclusive. I don't know.
Josue had Derek White. Josue had Derek White and Drew Holiday on his lap earlier, and we missed it. Yeah. They were both sitting right next to him.
And then earlier, which I'm glad I didn't listen to you guys because I threw out. I'm literally probably 10 feet away from Chris Tucker conversation. He's sitting. I'm just man, in a moment like this, do we really need a one-on-one with Chris Tucker? So I left it alone.
Yes.
Went down the hallway and then went down the hallway. But good thing I did it because here comes Kristaps with his booth, the Celtics PR trying to sneak him out the back door. But
yeah,
I would have done 30 minutes with Chris Tucker, just doing quotes from Rush Hour and Rush Hour 2 for 30 minutes.
Small aside, because I can't hold on. Small aside is I can't let it go. The somber voice thing. Back in the day when we used to do
I feel people have a story. Everyone had got a story. Yeah,
when we used to do Thanksgiving football shows, all the mass high schools play, and I'd work in local news and we do these shows, and it was hard. They weren't up to date. Like before, like the internet like wouldn't get them all. Like this is even like 10 years ago. Like you had to call. We had a list of names. You would call the coaches' homes on Thanksgiving and ask them, "Hey, what was the score of the game?" And like I had one of my PAs on it called Matty Cohen, and he was kind of listening to how we were doing it. He was trying to emulate it, but he was like, he would call, and every time the coach would lose, he'd get this really sad, somber voice, like, "Hey, coach, just wanted to check what was the score." Like, "You lost, huh? Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you all right? Like, are you okay?" And like, it just kind of kept going. So this "hey, coach" just became a thing. And every time he'd pick up the phone, he'd be like, "Hey, coach. Oh, you did? I'm so sorry." And it was just like he was like a grief counselor. But yeah, we all use our somber voice at time to time.
I'll defend myself here because I didn't just go to Luke to go to Luke. He had a calf injury He had a calf injury at the beginning of the series. I want to see if he had any insight on that, but he said he didn't have a strain like Kristaps does here. It was just sort of like a tightness thing. So not quite the same thing, but again, you have to manage it every day. You have to see how it responds every day. And it's probably going to be a day-by-day thing from here on out. And we'll see the severity of it. Obviously, him being in a boot isn't great. And we always talk about the Achilles calf relationship there. You want to be of the utmost cautiousness here. So anyone thinking he's going to be back out there in the next day or two is, it's not going to happen.
Easy.
We see what happened with Giannis here. And, there's a greater level of urgency on Milwaukee's end, and they've still held them out of this whole series. So it could be a little while here with this. And luckily, you're in position to clinch the series and sit back.
The sound is bad,
bit.
right? Like Luke, Luke and Al. I thought I saw something that you tweeted, Bobby, from the Luke interview.
Luke didn't sound very positive either.
Al came to him and
So
said, "Get ready."
Al came to Xavier and Luke at halftime and said, "Get ready to go." And I think that was more of a tonight thing. It wasn't like, get ready to play the whole rest of the playoffs here. But still, you get the sense from this locker room that this was serious. Luke said it was pretty quiet at halftime. Guys were pretty locked in. Al did get to talk to Kristaps briefly, and he said he was in good spirits. But they don't know anything yet. And Joe was Joe with the injury update.
Yeah, he was.
Porzingis hurts his calf. Bobby's like, Luke has a calf. I can go ask.
Did you end up talking to Tatum?
Yeah, Tatum went down with the same ankle injury he had from the playoffs. He said he tweaked what was already
last
there.
year's ankle injury.
The Game 7 one.
Game 7 against Miami ankle injury. That's good.
So he said it didn't
after that.
He said he didn't feel good, but he just got right up and played through the adrenaline. So I guess we'll see how that responds. He said he doesn't want to make a big deal out of it, and he's tweaked his ankle thousands of times. But he did make a couple mentions that this was the same injury he had from Game 7, same foot. And it was not a good feeling when he went down. And you could see it in his face. He just had to get right up and just kind of, what you do when the ankle injury. You just play through it. He only had to finish 4 or 5 minutes there and then complete the game. But he was walking all right off the podium. Didn't have anything visibly on. He didn't have a boot on. So we'll see where that goes. Again, finish the series in 5. This is the problem with going an extra game if you end up doing it, as you already have at this point going to the Game 5. Each night you play just opens up the possibility of this kind of stuff happening. So it's crucial for them to just slam the door on this thing Wednesday or whenever.
He
Wednesday.
specifically mentioned the same. He mentioned last year's playoffs
several times. He said, he tweaked the same injury he had last year.
Kind of need this Magic Cavs series to go 7 now too. Got to limit. Got to stretch that one out as long as they can go.
What we need are Magic. We need Magic Cavs for Porzingis.
Say that again.
It's a pun. It's like a pun.
I like it.
If we had Magic Cavs, we would just replace his, and it'd be fine.
Right. Got you.
You got it.
Oh, I completely missed that. I was like, Cavs. Okay.
On Chris, speaking of tweaking the injury from before, this was the calf that Kristaps dealt with during the year, right? He had a calf thing during the regular season that cost them some time.
50-50 chance, I guess.
That was he missed 5 games, and I thought it was going to be like, well, I guess it was almost 2 weeks. I thought it'd be 2 weeks or more. Yeah, that was a calf injury.
Interesting. Let me see if it was the same side.
Ahmed says it was his left.
Okay,
Ahmed says
it's
left
opposite.
calf.
He said that on the broadcast, actually, that that's what I was saying is he's had that, and now he's got this. So, yeah,
This is the right tonight, right?
Equal opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the right, and that's what the Celtics reported at halftime.
So, and what I'm sure you guys probably talked about a little bit. He turned his ankle initially, right, and tried to play through that, and then he came around to screen again, and that's when the calf kind of went on him.
I think he felt it. I think it was like 3 consecutive trips down the floor. Something affected him. You could see him
because
kind
the
of pulling
second
up
one
on
he
it.
got he got like banged down on that Horford offensive screen and like fell backwards.
Yeah, it was.
So there were
left
3
in the
trips
earlier one.
there where.
Yeah, his stuff was bothering him the whole way through. So yeah, it's
And it was a demoralized look on his face walking off the floor. You know his.
But you know
mind
what
went
though?
right to the Achilles
Nobody knows severity of strain walking off the court. So again, it doesn't matter. Like they're reacting to his reaction, and his reaction might be based just as much as disappointment that he's hurt at all versus that he's really badly hurt. So I'm not reading much into both them being down and his reaction and holding his jersey over his face. Like he didn't know, like, when you popped something in your knee, when your Achilles rolled up, like he strained his calf. We'll see what it is. But if it's the short one, yeah, you might have to survive a series without him. If it's the long one, you're in trouble. And look, the next 2 teams you're playing are, AD, I guess, is dead.
You saw that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But I mean, the next round is, you've got some height over there. You're gonna have some. That's not a great series for Porzingis to not be around.
No,
Right,
and it
exactly.
changes the dynamic of your
Orlando.
team, Josue.
No, for sure. I mean, before you hopped on, Bobby, I don't think this, for me at least, it doesn't change my prediction for what's going to happen in this series. But moving forward, yeah, I mean, you don't want to look ahead, but I just think this team is not going to do that. I don't think they make that mistake. You wonder what kind of adjustments, which is like the word of the series, but what kind of adjustments Eric Spoelstra has in store, especially with no Kristaps. It really does change things, I think, in terms of their planning. But I mean, when you look at just the way this team is trying to manufacture points when the Celtics are rolling, it's for them. It's really hard on them. I mean, like you said, Bobby, it's one of those things where it's like the Celtics, if they play their game and if they execute and they take a play as if it's going to be the last deciding play of the game, I really don't see the Heat forcing a game 6 and coming back here to Miami.
That's the hope. But
right. But you never know with these Celtics team. I mean, they make things interesting.
Like I said, I don't want to keep killing them, but like Tatum and Brown came out not serious tonight. Like
it didn't look great.
They have to get serious. Like Miami's terrible. You're going to be down Porzingis. You should still beat the tar out of them with the health who you have and who they don't have at home in a game 5. Like they're cooked.
No,
but
it's
like,
not about this series.
Right.
You come in and you walk around and you don't take it seriously and you don't take possession seriously and you're playing lazy defense. Like, it just takes one good shooting night and you're back in Miami. So get serious.
Right.
That always kills that. That's what, like, they come out and they're they go about their business. It's over.
I agree with that, John. Especially real quick, but I just want to say, Derek White obviously went off the way he did, but the big part of that was the way he broke the zone. I mean, when Derek White is hot like that and he got those open looks, essentially the Miami Heat were challenging these guys because they could see Tatum and Jalen were kind of slow and trying to find their offensive rhythm. I mean, that's what crushed them. That's what really broke things down initially. And then obviously, Derek couldn't miss. The rim opened up. But yeah, I'm with you. These guys have to wake up, especially now that Kristaps is out of the picture, at least for now. I mean, Tatum or Jalen, I talked about this after game 3. I feel like these guys are due for a big offensive performance. And I think now is the best, better than ever, to see one of these guys just take matters into their own hands and put together one of those series clinching performances that'll say, okay, well, there's that. Celtics can rest up now and wait for their opponent in the second round.
I think this guy's been trying to say I'm a douche for a while, but he's having a real tough time spelling it.
Duchess.
This is his third attempt. He's called me a Duchess.
It's the autocorrect, man. Apple doesn't like that word, I guess. So they changed it on you.
Forget the
Yeah, not that I try to
series.
use it or anything
You
else.
are a douche though, so he's not wrong.
I know,
We-
I get it. John the Duchess.
He said, I
We
know, I
all
get
know.
it.
We all know where the series stands at this point.
The Duchess of CLNS.
That's my official title on my business card. Yeah.
Someone said John is such a Dutch. Yeah, autocorrect, man. They don't like that word.
We all know where the
Anyway.
series stands.
Where?
This doesn't have anything to do with where the series is going here. Maybe it makes it more likely you have a slip up in Game 5, but if you were going to have a slip up in Game 5, it was going to happen, Porzingis or not here. The problem now, if this is a longer term thing, is you didn't play great in this series through 4 games, especially these last 2 games here. And it's going to be harder to play great without Kristaps. The threes probably have to fall at a higher rate for you to have more success. It's going to test your front court depth, and they've gone to Cornet for 5 minutes now in the series. You haven't gone to Tillman at all or Brissett or anything like that. So it's going to test you there. You're going to have to get more from your bench at this point. But overall, I'm just not thrilled with the offensive execution right now. Tatum has not shot well in the series.
And the shot profile, the choices again.
It's frantic.
I
think Brown's been erratic at times. He had that string of misses in the fourth quarter at the start of it around the rim. Holiday's in a weird funk now, and I know he's doing the defensive stuff, and he's had some great passes throughout this series. But in terms of getting his own shot off, he's in a tough place right now. So the one thing you take from tonight, and hopefully you can carry forward, is that White involvement. And we did talk about that earlier in this series. He has to be involved. The first 2 games of the series, John, he took 7 shots combined in the first half of those games. I think he had like 6 points in the first half of those games. And then again, in game 3, no shots in the fourth quarter of that game. So he gets lost too often for being the point guard of this team. And I know they're trying to attack matchups, and that lined up in his favor tonight. But he's just a guy who needs the ball in his hand. So the offense is going to face some challenges here. It already is right now. And it's not about can they win Game 5 or not. They're going to face a really good defensive team in round 2, too. So where do you stand offensively right now?
And also now you've changed, you've really altered your bench dynamic, and you got nothing out of them tonight. Nothing. We didn't talk about it. Pritchard and Hauser, 34 minutes, 0 points. 0.
That's
obviously
2
Al
games in
became
this
a de
series
facto-
that Pritchard got 0.
Okay, that's the fear, right? The Pritchard comes in and does nothing in the playoffs effect. Doesn't work. Like, you need those guys contributing in some way in their minutes if you're only going to have an 8-man rotation. Now you've only gone 8 basically all the way through with 2 very small Cornet stints mixed in. Now what? You're moving Al up, which means all of a sudden you have to heavily involve your bench, not just in this game, but again, potentially beyond. These guys got to elevate too. So, and that those guys only work. They only work when the other guys involve them. Like, you can't have Tatum and Brown freestyling and doing their own thing and expecting the bench going to do anything when in their minutes when they're out there as well. So there's a trickle down effect there. They have to play better than this. They have to. And again, it's not going to matter against the Heat. I think they're dead. I think they're cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but this is great practice, right? It's like, hey, you got to close out series, and that's always.
Well, we know they're not serious, and I think they know it. That's kind of the problem, right? Like, we all look at it, Josue, and we're like, this team's trash on the other side. I think they know it. They get out of bed knowing it. Like, they walked on the court and they're like, do we have? I mean, can we just? That's just kind of the vibe it was tonight.
But we've seen these guys sweep a group of future Hall of Famers with the Brooklyn Nets a couple of years ago. And I know a couple of years ago, but it's like, I get you, Bobby, but I just think they have it in them to sort of flip that switch and say, okay, it's time to close out. And I think something like this could really motivate these guys. One of them, to say, hey, look, let's go off or shit. We get one of those classic, 65, 67 points combined between the two. I mean, that's against this Miami Heat team, the way they are right now and how vulnerable they are and how they're struggling to just put together an offensive game beyond what we saw in game 2, I think is doable. I think if you're, I think it really wouldn't surprise me if we go back to TD Garden and that's the case. But get it done. I really do think It's not going to be easy as maybe I just worded that, but with the Celtics, this is the type of game where you're gonna send a message across the league saying like, okay, yeah, we lost Kristaps, but these guys are about to just step up. These all NBA stars. This is what the season's about. And they have to remind everyone of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna get Orlando or Cleveland thinking, hey, we got these guys, or not that we got these guys, but hey, we're gonna put out our fight. And I'll tell you this:
Orlando would be a problem.
I think one of those teams, and I was just gonna say, the Orlando would be probably just as tough as this Miami Heat team, if I'm being honest.
Maybe
tougher. Yeah, with Banchero.
They'll be much tougher. Much tougher.
Yeah,
tougher because defensively they're tougher, and you've got some matchups there, and they're
athletic,
long. But
tall. Yeah.
Going back to what we talked about here again, a lot the injury focus entirely on Porzingis. Tatum played the rest of the game. Wouldn't be surprised if his ankle swells up a little bit because that's what ankle injuries do. But it doesn't mean it's a long-term thing necessarily, but it happened, and it's kind of something you wish didn't happen because it's another, thing that you have to deal with as you're worry about it as you're trying to lock things up. Here's Tatum at the podium talking about the situation where Bam kind of got in his space and caused him to roll his ankle.
I shot the ball afterwards, landed on his foot. Same ankle that I hurt in Game 7 last year that I hurt against the Warriors, that I tweaked against the Clippers. So didn't feel good at first, but it was just that. And I don't want to make it a bigger deal than what it is. Just a little play, I wasn't tripping, moved on, kept playing, was worried about the rest of the game.
And just while you're down there, Al is leaning into the refs. What was it like to see Al come in there and show a level of fire that we don't usually see?
No, that's the OG, man. It's, we all on the team together. We all brothers. So, right or wrong, you gotta ride with your brother, and that's what.
Did John use it?
We see something we don't like, or whatever it is, we stand up for each other, and we, it's contagious.
Yeah, Corrales somber voice. That's what you got to use in those situations.
And that's perfect delivery from John, because he's usually very outspoken. And
you got to go to you got to downshift to the somber voice.
And lastly, Kristaps Porzingis. He does.
One more thing I want to ask you about Kristaps. Yeah.
When you see something,
take the pauses, appropriate pauses.
Yeah. Jason, what was going through your mind out there when you saw, Porzingis call?
Porzingis
game, yeah.
You want to put these guys at ease. They're worried. They're stressed. You don't want to make it any harder on them.
They need you guys to ask them the questions that way. Otherwise they'd go to pieces.
It's just weird if you do it the other way. Like, Kristaps got hurt. What do you think about that, Jason? What does that mean for you guys? Like, it just sounds kind of like
I didn't use it.
I don't know.
I didn't use it on Joe though when he came to the podium saying, "I don't know anything about Kristaps." I'm like, really? But
so Bobby responded with that energy, like aggressive energy. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. No, not great. Anyway,
one thing I'll say.
Go ahead.
One thing. My final thought, because there is some stuff to worry about right now. The one thing I do like out of these two. The one thing I do like out of these two games, though, you went back to defense and you just grinded these games out. And yes, you're gonna lose guys to injuries. You're gonna have bumps and bruises. You're gonna have bad losses, as they did in Game 2. But for them to come down here on the road and not play good offense, not shoot great, and grind out these wins.
I didn't think the defense was great either, Bobby. I think the Heat missed a ton of open shots in the first half. I think they ratcheted it up at points, but I think they gave up some layups. They gave up, they were late on screens, and they gave up a ton of open shots. I didn't think it was great at all.
You hold the team to 88 in a playoff game. I think you did your job.
They shot horribly.
They don't have their scores.
They were ice cold. It doesn't matter. I didn't think it was a great defensive effort.
I think Game 3 was.
I think last game was.
Yeah.
Last game was. I think this game was just credit. Miami was awful. Yeah.
No, and yeah, I thought Drew was flying around. Derek had some blocks. I thought they did a great job overall.
But you're right, Bobby. All things being equal, if you can't figure out offense or you want to get through some cold
you always
streaks,
have this.
the way you do it is by you leaning into the defense, because that's always going to keep you competitive for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
I just thought that was such a
yeah.
I just thought it was such a salty foul by Bam, man. And like, obviously, these guys are friends off the court, and I'm not saying that he should have been nicer to Tatum, but it was just like, come on. And to read what Stan Van Gundy, I guess, apparently said, it's just like, okay, yeah, obviously Tatum tried to get a free there, but you do the Kevin Garnett and get the ball out of it, before it goes close to the rim. You don't just shove him like that. It was such a salty play, if you ask me. But yeah, no, I just wanted to get that in. I know you guys probably talked about it earlier.
I mean, Jimmy.
I'd like to hear everyone's
crazy. Yeah, Jimmy's opinion was it wasn't. He didn't think it was intentional.
I thought it was reckless, but I didn't think it was intentionally reckless.
Someone in the chat put intentionally reckless, which I thought was a really good way to put it. Which was like, well, I didn't mean to foul him, but he put himself.
Meant to foul him, right?
It was pretty egregious. He put himself in a position where. It's one thing to swat at somebody. It's another to stand in his space and not move. Like, that's what's going to happen there. That's you're inviting the possibility of injury. Did you guys think it was dirty?
I think you could have called a flagrant 2 there, given that it was a dead ball. It was pretty clearly a dead ball, and it's an automatic flagrant 1. So I think you can upgrade it from a 1, which is automatic when you go under a guy, to a 2 for it being a dead ball play. I know you don't want to do that, and they haven't done that throughout these playoffs with Embiid and others on some dirty plays. But I think it would have been fair game in that spot. It was a very bad foul.
Yeah.
I think it's a flagrant. I don't think you eject him for that, but it's a flagrant.
I think it's a 1. Yeah. It was. I think they called it right, and the fact that
it was
a
dead ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we are going to wrap it up. Again, I want to say once again a quick thank you to our new sponsor jumping on board with us fresh this week. Game Time, best mobile ticket marketplace app out there. You want to get in on some NBA action, we're happy to welcome Game Time to the CLNS Media Network and here for you Garden Report viewers. Download that app right now. Code CLNS, $20 off your first purchase. Make sure that you check that out today. And of course, nothing would be complete without Prize Picks, if I can find it. Prize Picks, the number 1 fantasy app in North America. Use the promo code CLNS. Get up to $100 deposit match when you deposit $100. Prize Picks. We like it. Get in on the action. All right, guys, we're going to wrap
Play
up.
the promo again.
Huh?
Play the promo.
No, I won't do that. No, you have to wait till next game. Bobby, you were going to say something before we close it?
I had Pritchard tonight.
Oh, you did?
For Prize Picks? Yeah.
So was it less?
I was off with
was
Jalen.
the 0 less? Yeah. Did he come in less with the 0?
No, I had more. Hey, don't laugh, Josue. You had Jalen.
Well, he didn't put up a goose egg or anything near it, but yeah, you're right. I took the more. What was he at 22.5? I thought
me
this would be one of those games,
Me and Josue won game 3 though, so you win some.
There you go. All right, win some, lose some. That's how it goes. But get in on the action there, Jimmy.
Yes.
Take us home.
Guys.
What's my final thought?
Yeah. Is it over? Is it over in 5?
It's over in 5. Porzingis. I'm only thinking about Porzingis. I'm going to be saying my prayers.
Use your somber voice.
We get. Listen. I'm just really thinking about Porzingis right now. He's in my thoughts and prayers. And before I go to bed tonight, I'll say a couple prayers just to make sure that God's listening, and hopefully we see Porzingis on the court as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, and guys, I just want to say, if you're going to be going out tonight, please be responsible there and look out after each other.
Yeah.
Nice sound like my boss.
We're on a walking boot just in case. Porzingis is just wearing one, just precaution.
Watch out. Watch each other's backs out there. Okay, guys, it's a brotherhood. And that's it. That's all we've got. So we're out. Thanks, you guys, for watching. Once again, Celtics win it. Some ugly stuff happened, but we'll see. Porzingis we'll have some imaging. Expect him to be out for a little bit. Hopefully not too long with the Celtics 3-1. Chance to close it out Wednesday. We'll be back at the Garden. Bobby, Josue, Sherrod, the entire gang. Amit, Richie, what have you.
Yes.
Once again, hats off to Amit, hats off to Amit once again, who we
Hard
did
hats
manage to
off.
keep alive through draft weekend. That was
Fucking
quite
hats
a weekend's
off,
worth
man.
of coverage.
Yeah, get some sleep on it. Hopefully you got some today. But
I was
That's
Florida.
what-
I was
working his
Miami,
ass off.
boys. Fun
Excellent.
time.
We had a great time.
I've heard all about you. I heard you guys had a lot of fun down there.
Don't make it
Yeah,
sound
who told you,
like that.
Evan?
Yeah, good.
Fun down there.
I think
Oh,
Evan's
yeah,
heard
Evan
the
was like-
stories.
I'm just looking to see if
Okay.
anyone starts to get.
I know. So
We
if
had some
someone
great
cracks,
food today.
Yeah,
That's what we
someone
did. Bro.
cracks.
we'll have the rest of this conversation off cam in our offline in our somber voices. Thank you guys for watching. As always, thank you for keeping the chat fun and
Yes.
lively and entertaining, as you
All
always
you guys.
do. It was a good chat tonight, and we did enjoy that. Let's close it out on Wednesday and then move on, hoping for the best with Chris Porzingis. Again, thank you guys for hanging out, and
Sounds
we
good.
will see you on Wednesday.
Wait, Amit's got an outro for us, I think.
No, he doesn't.
He said he was gonna work on an outro.
He had a phenomenal game.
Phenomenal.
Forfeit's out. I think it's an auction. That did not sound like a chair.
It was a freaking chair. It does sound like a chair. What do you want for your third center?